Welcome to Dirty Secrets. Today we are going to see top 5 con men in history. Number 5. Ferdinand Waldo Damara, Jr. World-renowned as the Great Impostor, Ferdinand Waldo Damara Jr. was the original master of disguise. A stealer of people's identities, Damara Jr.'s impersonations included a monk, a surgeon, a lawyer, a civil engineer and a prison warden. Then, after faking his own suicide, he was eventually caught out and imprisoned for 18 months for desertion. Damara's most infamous impersonation was that of a doctor during the Korean War. While on board a Royal Canadian Navy destroyer during the conflict, he successfully saved the lives of several soldiers injured in battle, including one requiring major chest surgery. He did so by delving into his medical textbook and using his photographic memory and undoubted intelligence. But this would prove to be his undoing, as news quickly spread of his heroics and the resulting media attention eventually unmasked him as a faker. Number 4. Bernard Madoff should need little introduction. The former non-executive chairman of the Nasdaq stock market was found guilty of masterminding the biggest Ponzi scheme in U.S. financial history. Madoff pocketed billions of dollars of investors' money through his fraudulent firm, Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities LLC. Madoff claimed to have begun his scheme in the early 1990s, but investigators have suggested that the scam went back as far as the 1970s. Madoff was finally caught out on December 11, 2008. He pleaded guilty to 11 counts of fraud in March 2009 and was sentenced to 150 years, the maximum sentence, in June of the same year. Number 3. Charles Ponzi is such a renowned con man that there's even a deceitful financial scheme named in his honor, the Ponzi scheme. The smartly dressed Italian immigrant's most famous scam is the pyramid investment scheme he started in Boston in the early 1920s. Ponzi enticed investors with promises of massive returns on international reply coupons he had bought cheaply. These coupons could be purchased in one country and then redeemed in another for postage stamps, generating a significant profit on the difference in price between the two countries. Ponzi quickly became a millionaire, raking in an estimated $15 million in just 8 months. However, investigators soon became suspicious of this self-made millionaire, and Ponzi eventually surrendered to the authorities, but not before half a dozen banks had crumbled and thousands of investors had lost their money. Number 2. Frank William Abagnale Jr. With a best-selling book, a musical and a Steven Spielberg film all about his life, Frank Abagnale Jr. is without doubt one of the most famous con men of all time. The New Yorker started his career as a confidence trickster by conning, impersonating, stealing and escaping into an art form. One of Abagnale Jr.'s first victims was his own father. Frank made a deal with gas station attendants whereby he bought tires, batteries and other items on the credit card given to him by his father, receiving cash from them in return. Abagnale Jr. impersonated an airline pilot, a college professor, a pediatrician and an attorney, and he successfully cashed $2.5 million in fraudulent checks in every U.S. state and 26 countries. Though he got caught out and served time in U.S., French and Swedish prisons, Abagnale Jr. was so good at what he did that the U.S. government decided the only way to stop him was to employ him. Number 1. Victor Count Lustig. Legendary schemer Victor Lustig was best known as the man who sold the Eiffel Tower twice. In his later life, he would even have the audacity and confidence to scam the prominent gangster Al Capone, but 1925 was the year of his master plan. Lustig convinced them that Paris could not afford the upkeep of the Eiffel Tower and needed to sell the monument for scrap metal secretly. Eventually, he chose André Poisson as the buyer, collecting a massive bribe in the process. And with Poisson too embarrassed to complain to the police, Lustig tried to pull off the same scam just a month later. This time, however, his chosen victim went to the police before the deal was concluded. Nevertheless, Lustig managed to evade arrest until May 10, 1935, when he was finally arrested. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe for more.